Hello people, Jugglet here, and some of you liked my Evil Within 2 bad guy concept for Mr. Cameraman, so I figured I'd try and do another one for one of my favourite characters from the series, the Keeper. He's basically Pyramid Head from the Evil Within, but I think we could do something fun with him as a killer concept. Something semi-unique. So let's get down to it. So who is the Keeper? Well, if you played the Evil Within, he is, well, a box head, basically, but his story is a little strange. The Keeper was born from a combination of Ruvik's memory of the safe where he kept his research and his unbridled rage. The safe head represents the atrocities of Ruvik's past and he's trying to keep hidden, literally crushing anyone who comes near him. That's his short write-up, but I'll leave a link in the description for another YouTuber who's explained the entire backstory word for word, and he's quite an interesting character. So his power, his abilities, and, well, that's what you've came for, I'm sure. He's a big box who likes to smack himself on the head, so we're going to use that in a similar way to the Doctor's frontal cone shock therapy. The Keeper can channel a smash to hit his head, releasing a pulsing echo from each swing for 3 seconds. So every second he will hit his head, and it will send out a shockwave around him, in let's say a 10-meter radius. The survivors have tiers of insanity, 1, 2, and 3, and 2 pulses is for each tier. So if you get hit twice, you go up a tier. I'll do a simple diagram explaining how that would play out and a survivor would react. Okay, so as you can see, you've got Dwight on one side of the pallet and Mr. Boxhead himself on this side of the pallet. So he can now smack his head, so there's 1 pulse, 2 pulse, 3 pulse. Obviously, the survivor could have left the loop if he wanted to. The Boxhead man will be hitting his head and he'll be moving at reduced speed whilst doing so it gives a chance for the survivor to run away from the tile or stay on the tile and risk going insane. I imagine if he'd, say, gone to this part of the loop or just left the loop altogether, he might then have a chance of not going insane. But the worst case scenario, if he stays on the loop and just holds the tile, he will end up reaching tier 1.5 because you won't reach tier 2 because it's only 3 stacks. You can only get 3 stacks per 3-second channel because it's one stack per 1 second. Simple enough? Okay. Once a survivor is in tier 1 of insanity, every time the Keeper hits the survivor with a pulse, they are hindered for 2 seconds, minus 5% movement speed. Once a survivor reaches tier 2, the Keeper can now channel an ability which slowly over 5 seconds clones a copy of the Keeper behind that survivor. He breaks his own neck and disappears into his safe, leaving behind a barbed wire trap. The Keeper can cancel this ability any time. During the channel, once the 5-second channel is up, he can teleport to his new form. If he chooses not to do that, the clone will disappear, leaving a barbed wire trap behind that clone. So in his place, there'll be a barbed wire trap. If he does teleport, there'll be a barbed wire trap on the one he was in. If any survivor in tier 2 or above steps in the trap, they lose a health state. They're also trapped in place for 4 seconds, and once they are free, the trap fades into nothingness. Once a survivor reaches tier 3 of insanity, every time that survivor is caught by a pulse, the survivor's controls are reversed for 6 seconds. This is designed to be an anti-loop mechanic, and to be honest, it hasn't been done before. It's interesting, and, well, I just think it'd be a good way to do anti-loop. So forward is back, left is right for 6 seconds. Once all survivors reach tier 3, clones of the Keeper will appear in the form of a safe on the ground, slowly reanimating into a full-size version of the Keeper. They will appear near any survivor not in chase, and after 5 seconds, the Keeper's clones will disappear, leaving a fake barbed wire trap on the ground. The trap does nothing, it just acts as a fake trap, basically, and disappears in 30 seconds once the next wave of clones appears. If a survivor working on a generator lets go of their generator once a safe on the ground is reanimating, the gen becomes blocked for 10 seconds. So basically, they can't let go of the generator for the 5 seconds whilst the animation is in play. So the idea is they might think it's the killer, or they might think it's a clone of the killer. Obviously, Survive with Friends will be able to see that it's not, or be able to tell each other that it's not, but that's always been the case. Survive with Friends has a lot more, well, it's just a lot easier if you're in If-Swift. Tier 2 is meant to be simple to get to, and Tier 3 is meant to be like a mid-game kind of thing. All survivors reaching Tier 3 is his end-game form. It's not really overpowered, it's just kind of, it's meant to be a bit scary, it's meant to give some jump scares, and it's give him a little bit of gen slowdown if he gets to that stage before the end-game collapse. I tried to keep these in under 5 minutes, and that's the point of this series. No add-ons, no perks, just the killer and his abilities. He's a realistic killer with a cool backstory. He's probably similar to the Doctor and Nemesis, with him building his power up and getting stronger as the game goes on. And if you've gotten this far in the video, leave a piece of meat, because he looks like a butcher. Like, subscribe, and other YouTube things. Take care.